One of my favorite aspects of modern gaming is how easy it is to take advantage of super high frame rates in games compared to how it used to be, especially on consoles. Not only is 60 FPS more common, but we're even seeing ultra performance modes uncap frame rates on consoles all the way up to a glorious 120 FPS. What, you're not seeing those options? I see what's going on here. You don't have a high frame rate display yet. Well, don't you worry. With the help of the sponsor of today's video, KTC, and their H2017-22C-3 monitor, it could not be easier to unlock the full potential of the games you love, whether you're a console or PC gamer. So like I said, this is KTC's H2017-22C-3, a 27-inch 1440p QHD IPS monitor that can overclock all the way up to 210 Hz. All for under $200, allowing everyone to have access to ultra-fast gameplay. I've personally been using a KTC monitor as my primary display here at the office for years, and I love it. The unboxing experience for this monitor is fairly standard. You just pull out the styrofoam block and all of the monitor's components will be inside. You of course will get a power cable. You also get a DisplayPort cable along with a stand that comes in a few pieces. And here's the monitor itself. As you can see, it has a matte finish on the front, which I really like. I went ahead and set up the monitor stand next. It's just two pieces. You just screw them together. Couldn't be any easier. Then you just put the monitor on the stand itself. It just clicks in place, no screws needed. And if you ever want to take the monitor off the stand, you just pull this little switch. It's super simple. And yeah, as you can see here, I'm shaking the stand around. You can see there's no flex at all. So despite not having any screws, it's a very sturdy stand. If you don't want to use the stand though, it does support VESA mounts. And then in terms of the ports on the monitor, you have standard stuff like a power port, USB, headphone jack, along with two HDMI 2.0 ports for 144 Hz. And most importantly, you get two DisplayPort 1.4 inputs so you can take full advantage of the up to 210 Hz overclocking on this monitor. So as you can see, I now have the monitor set up and ready to go. I have it connected via DisplayPort to my monitor. And yeah, guys, right at the bat, I gotta say, this is just such a simple, straightforward monitor, perfect for gaming. It's 27 inches. I really like the anti-glare coating as well. You can see the reflections in the monitor, right? But they're not that distracting because of how blurred they are. And as you can see from the technical details here, I'm taking full advantage of this monitor with 1440p resolution at 210 Hz. I have it off right now just so we can start with a baseline and then we'll turn it on later. It's gonna be amazing, but we have the ability to turn on HDR as well, of course. And we have full support for G-Sync for my NVIDIA GPU and FreeSync if I had an AMD GPU. G-Sync/FreeSync combined with the 1 millisecond response time of this monitor makes scrolling around on the desktop feel ultra smooth. So yeah, guys, as you can tell, this is a super clean 2K gaming monitor that focuses on being compatible with all of your favorite gaming devices, whether that's a console, desktop, or laptop. So just for an example of the difference that 210 Hz makes, I set my desktop here to 60 FPS, and here's what that looks like as I move the window around. All right, now I changed it to 210 Hz. Take a look at this in slow motion. This should give you a pretty good idea of how many extra frames are clearly visible to your eyes when you're using this monitor. But all right, guys, let's move on to the main event, actually playing games. What I got here first to show you is Stalker 2. Especially for a 27-inch monitor, it's just the right size and viewing distance for this kind of resolution to make sense. And boy, oh boy, do games look outstanding. Basically, 2K Res just lets you take full advantage of seeing all the detail in environmentally dense games like Stalker 2. The monitor also supports 131% sRGB coverage, 1.07 billion colors, and 450 CD meters squared brightness. I don't know what that means, but it sounds very impressive. And now that I have HDR turned on, we can take even better advantage of this monitor's incredible colors. Basically, this just means that no matter where I am, like a light environment like this, or inside a dark, moody building like so, I'm always getting fantastic color and clarity. Now, playing pretty games is fantastic, of course, but what if you want something competitive? That, in my opinion, is where this monitor really shines. I got Apex pulled up here, and as you can see in the corner, we're getting right around 200 FPS. And oh boy, does it look smooth, ladies and gentlemen. Whee! See, how fun is that? You can only have fun with high refresh rates. It's the rules. To show off the difference again, what you guys just saw was 60 Hz gameplay, right? But using the magic of slow motion, you guys now should be able to see the differences between 60 and 200 Hz a little better. Also, in case you guys didn't notice before, this monitor does actually have some speakers, which is really nice in my opinion. Also, when you're playing competitive games like this, there are some other features to note. We have this low blue light filter here. Helps save your eyes when playing, late at night and stuff. Along with some overdrive features to help smooth out the image as much as possible and reduce blur. Also, this interface here, really clean, like it a lot. It just works, which is really nice. And you just control it with this little nub on the back of the monitor. And speaking of blur, I have a Hollow Knight Silksong pulled up next so you guys can see how all the parallax and everything looks super ultra smooth. This is just one of those games where if you do have a monitor with a lot of blur and ghosting and stuff, it's very obvious. And perhaps most importantly, I don't see any screen tearing at all, despite having VSync turned off, which means that our G-Sync is working. And it looks so buttery smooth. Also, apologies for playing with a keyboard. I know this is blasphemous for Hollow Knight, but the 1 millisecond response time here is so noticeable. It feels incredible. It looks amazing. I see no delay at all. Also, I'm using a wireless keyboard, so like, the fact that the latency is this good is really impressive. So yeah, guys, it's a little hard to convey in a 60 FPS video, but a 200 Hz monitor, it just makes every game feel so smooth. It's fantastic. All right, guys, I've gone ahead and connected up a PS5 to the monitor for the superior gaming experience. Anyway, I don't really know why I said that. If you didn't know, the PS5 is perfectly capable of using 1440p as well. See, if I go over here to my video settings, as you can tell, it says 1440p. And not only is it capable of 1440p, the PS5 can also do 120 Hz. It doesn't always work on all monitors, but sure enough, if I do a test here, the PS5 will start with doing SDR at 60 Hz, then HDR at 60 Hz, and then finally 120 Hz, 1440p with HDR. And yeah, that's it. That's all you need. 1440p, 120 Hz. It's amazing. And to some of you guys out there, I know it might be a little strange, like, why would I want to use my PS5 on a monitor, sit at a desk? You'd be surprised. A keyboard and mouse connected to a PS5 and a monitor, it's perfectly viable. Of course, it depends on the game. I like to play a lot of Battlefield 6 here, and oh man, it's incredible. It's just like playing on PC. And you don't have to deal with kernel level anti-cheat, but that's a different topic. But as you guys can see, I am in Battlefield 6. It is running at 120 Hz. See, if I go to the settings here, it says balanced mode targets stable frame rate. Performance mode lowers visual quality, enable higher frame rates. But in order to turn on performance mode, you do need a 120 Hz compatible display device. And yeah, it is so smooth. It's amazing. Pew, 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 pew. And as you can tell, the speakers work just fine when connected to a PS5 as well. So whether you're on HDMI or DisplayPort, the speakers are great. Look at how crisp and detailed these boxes blow up. Wow, the power of HDR. See you later, cup. So yeah, guys, I think the case for this display is simple. If you want a 1440p monitor with ultra-fast 210 Hz performance, accurate colors, and HDR for a ridiculously low price, check out the KDC H27T22C-3 using the link in the description, and thanks again to KDC for sponsoring this video.